Hello and welcome back to the channel. In this video we're gonna be looking at the new Boba Fett recovered armor version from Star Wars The Mandalorian by Medicom toy MAFEX. This is their latest Boba Fett figure and it's something that I was really looking forward to because I have their latest Mando figure and that one is amazing. That is why I have high expectations for their Boba Fett and we're gonna take a look at it, but first a quick look at the box. So a standard type of packaging for Medicom toy MAFEX. We see the window here with the figure and all the accessories that come in this set. Star Wars The Mandalorian MAFEX Medicom toy, Boba Fett recovered armor down here, a nice portrait promo shot here. This Boba is number 201 in the MAFEX line. Their Mandalorian was number 200, so this guy comes right after him. Here is the top of the box, one side of it, and then the other one with a nice promo shot. Here is the bottom of the box, and then here is the back showing us some nice promo shots with the accessories that are included here and Boba being posed with some of those accessories. So that's it about the box. Let's open it up and let's take a look at the figure. And I just wanted to point out that when you open up the box you get this text here saying Legendary Bounty Hunter. That's a nice touch, so I just wanted to show you that. And here is our recovered armor Boba Fett out of the box, and right away you can see that proportions really look good. This suit is kind of bulkier than how he looks in the book of Boba Fett, and I like both versions. As far as first impressions go, this is a really nice looking figure. It's a combination of plastic and some soft goods pieces, so that is good. Even this piece around the neck is soft goods piece, so that is good. Here is the profile, here is the back of the figure, and his jetpack is not attached at the moment, but we'll get to that. But now let's take a look at the details. The helmet is really well sculpted. This is the moment in the show when he retrieves his armor and then he gives it a fresh paint job, and so everything looks clean, and that's what we get on this release. He still has his iconic damage up here and we get these painted marks. The visor looks good, silver detail here that is painted, and then here is the side, and this scope goes down. These details are nicely sculpted and painted. Here is the back of the helmet, and then, as I said, this is a soft goods piece that is actually wired. That's a nice surprise. I wasn't expecting that, and with it not being plastic piece, it goes out of the way for the articulation, for the movement of the head, so that's good. And then his chest armor is really well painted. This symbol here is really nicely done. This should be painted red. The damage parts are well painted, and there is even a little bit of like paint chipping on some of the edges, so that's good. Here is how the arms look, these tubes that are going from underneath this shoulder pauldron right into the gauntlet, and the gauntlet is really well sculpted and painted again. Everything looks sharp, and the other arm as well, the sleeves with wrinkles, and then mythosaur symbol that also looks sharp and crisp, so that's good. The belt has some nice details, these small holes here, and the buckle that is nicely painted, and then these pouches that have kind of a leathery texture imitation, the holster attached to it here, and all of these silver buttons are painted. The back plate that we already saw also looks good. It's clean and smooth, but there is a replacement piece that comes attached to the jetpack, and we'll get to that. And then his soft goods skirt piece that is stitched up in a way that it kind of has layers going underneath the belt, and then it's damaged, kind of torn here at the bottom, and same goes for this front piece. Looks nice and damaged here, so I like that. And then his baggy pants that are really nicely sculpted. It really looks like it's falling down with all of these nicely sculpted wrinkles, and the baggy pants going across the knees in these these knee pads, so it really looks good. Here is the back of the legs, and you can see that the holster is attached to the leg with this brown strap, and we see a huge knee joint here, and then the boots that have some lines sculpted here that imitate like stitches, and then this part goes over the top of the foot, and the feet, the boots are also really well sculpted, and then here is the bottom. Now let's take a look at his accessories. As all MAFEX figures, this one also comes with this genuine product certificate that confirms that you have the original and not a bootleg. And also, like all MAFEX figures, this one comes with a MAFEX stand that you have to put together. I always say it, I love these stands, I use them for my posing videos, so I prefer these. Boba comes with his iconic jetpack that has this mark here where Han Solo damaged it in Return of the Jedi, and the paint is really nice. There are some scratches, some damages on some edges. These parts here do articulate. These silver pieces look metallic, and there is even some yellow, and yeah, they really did a great job here. And you can see that it's attached to the back plate of his armor. It comes like this in the packaging, so you can replace this with the existing piece on Boba's back. And while we are talking about the jetpack, we can compare this new MAFEX one with the one that came with the Black Series Throne Room Boba Fett, and it should represent the same look for Boba. And while the Black Series version is also really well made, you can see that the damage detail is missing from this one, and the paint overall is much darker on the MAFEX one. And while I don't have this version of SH Figuarts Boba, I do have the version that came with Throne, and it is a different look for Boba, but we can still compare it, and MAFEX jetpack is even bigger in scale. MAFEX Boba also comes with an alternate head sculpt, and this looks beautiful. I feel like this is probably the best looking unhelmeted Boba Fett that we have in the 6-inch scale. The likeness is there, the eyes are really well painted, same goes for the lips, and then these scars and scratches, everything looks really good. It's not a simple skin tone layer. You can see some veins going underneath the skin, so there is a kind of bluish underlayer going underneath the skin tone. There is even an alternate neck piece connected to the head, and right away we can compare this head with what we got with the SH Figuarts. I can't decide which one I like better. I feel like MAFEX version is closer to what we got in the Black Series, while the SHF one really looks like the actor and like the character, but then again, this is how he looked in The Mandalorian, and this is how he looked in the Book of Boba Fett. So I assume that both of these are accurate. And while we are comparing the head sculpts, I can also show you a comparison with the Black Series version, and we can even put the three of them side by side. So you guys tell me, which one do you prefer out of these three? I think that Black Series also looks really nice. Hasbro did a great job on this one, but MAFEX and SHF are just far superior, as it should be, because they are the more expensive figures. And here is how MAFEX Boba looks with that alternate unhelmeted head. The proportions still look good, and yeah, I really love the way that this guy turned out. And then MAFEX Boba comes with his iconic rifle. Look how sharp every detail is, and how well all of this is painted. This side of the handle is not painted, but then the other side is. And I mean, while I have it here, this is a comparison between the MAFEX rifle and then the SH Figuarts one, and you can see that the weapon didn't change that much from show to show. We can also compare this MAFEX rifle with the Black Series version. Black Series also looks good, but the sculpt is much softer in comparison to MAFEX. And also some of the paint is missing from the Black Series version. He also comes with his smaller pistol blaster, and this one is also really well painted, and this is the other side. You get a grappling hook, and this is the same accessory that came with the latest Mandalorian. There is a hole here in the gauntlet where you just port in this wire. Then he also comes with this alternate rocket piece for his jetpack, and it's it's attached to this blast effect. You can easily pull out this first rocket and then just attach this alternate one like this, and now you have a jetpack that launched the missile. He also comes with a pair of this jetpack boost effects. It has these pegs that you just connect into these thrusters, and as I said, these thrusters are articulated. And while we are on it, I can show you how this Boba looks with the jetpack attached to his back. So all you need to do is remove this back plate, so you get this, and then you just align these pegs with the holes on Boba's back, push that in, and now you have your Boba Fett with his jetpack. Next, he comes with an alternate gauntlet piece, and this is the one with flamethrower effect. It's the same translucent plastic as we saw for the effects for the jetpack. You need to remove this piece. First detach this wire here, like this, and this is a softer piece of plastic, and then we attach the alternate piece. And it's a really nice tight grip, and then we need to connect this tube back to the gauntlet. And that is kind of hard to do because the hole is a bit smaller on this alternate piece. So I'm guessing that with heating up the plastic, you can probably connect it much better. It looks really good. Boba also comes with alternate knee pad, and it has this firing bullet effect to it, so you can recreate that scene from The Mandalorian when he is fighting with all those stormtroopers. And this is the knee pad that goes to his right knee, so we'll do that. We just unplug the existing one, and as I said, now you can pose this guy like he's shooting the missile out of his knee weapon. And then he comes with few pairs of alternate hands. So first we have a pair of fisted hands that are on the figure, we have a pair of trigger finger hands, a pair of pointing hands, a pair of open palm hands, a pair of dynamic open palm hands, and these are probably for holding the rifle. And then we have a pair of uniquely sculpted hands. This is something that I never saw before in the Star Wars line. This is for when you want to pose him like he's spinning the gun around his finger. So that is a nice touch. Such a unique accessory. I'm loving this. Now let's take a look at his articulation. The head has a nice range of movement. He can look down this much, up this much, tilt side to side, and rotate 360. Arms go out all the way and can rotate, but you need to be careful with that rotation on this arm with these tubes. We have a nice butterfly joint, bicep swivel, double jointed elbow that gives us this much, a standard MAFEX wrist that swivels and bends in any direction however you rotate that wrist joint. In the torso we have a cut down here, and that gives us side to side movement, a little bit of tilt. Forward crunch is limited, back is much better. We have drop down hips, legs move out this much, they go forward this much, back this much. There is a thigh swivel, single bend in the knee that gives us this much. We have a swivel in the ankles, and feet move forward this much, back this much. There is an ankle pivot that could be a bit better, and we have a toe joint. Now let's compare our Boba Fett with some other figures. Here he is with the Black Series Throne Room Boba Fett and the SH Figure Arts Book of Boba Fett that comes with Throne. As I said, I don't have the SHF version of this Boba Fett, but we do have here the Black Series version. Black Series version is a bit shorter than the MAFEX one. I feel like the proportions are better on the MAFEX figure, even though I still think that Black Series did a good job on this guy. Yeah, I think that I prefer these proportions because this one looks kind of slim, and one of the reasons for that is this plastic lower tunic skirt piece that drapes like straight down, and it looks almost like it's part of the pants, like it's not a separate piece, even though it is. And this one, even though it's shorter, smaller, this being the SHF one, I still feel like this one, with the amount of accessories that he comes with and the throne, this is a masterpiece release. And we can also compare how these three look look with their alternate unhelmeted heads, and without the helmets I think that it's even more obvious how bigger the MAFEX version is compared to these two. And then here is how the new MAFEX Boba looks with one of the previous MAFEX Boba Fetts. This is the MAFEX Boba Fett from The Empire Strikes Back, and then on the other side we have Hasbro's the Black Series Boba Fett from Return of the Jedi. This guy was in the packaging for a long time now, so his helmet is again a bit warped and I need to heat it up just so that it goes back into the right shape. And then here he is with the latest MAFEX Mandalorian, and on the other side we have the Black Series Glavis Ringworld Mandalorian, one of the best or maybe the best Black Series figure that Hasbro has done to date. And you can see that this MAFEX Boba is taller than Glavis Ringworld Mando, while he fits much better with the MAFEX version, even though Boba should be a bit shorter than Mando, so I'm not sure why MAFEX made him this tall, but there you go. I'm sure that if you want to add this guy to your collection, you'll find a way to fit him into your display, because if you play a little bit with your perspective, you put some figures forward and some in the background, those height differences become a bit less of an issue. And then finally, here he is with the Black Series Fennec Shand and the Black Series Imperial Stormtrooper. And so all in all, what do I think about this new MAFEX Boba Fett recovered armor? I think that it's a good release. The only minus for me is the height. As I said, you can play around with your display, put some figures in the front, some in the back, or even if you pose this Boba with your Mando or some other figures in a flying pose, then those differences are not as noticeable as they are when you put them side by side, as you saw in this video. Other than that height issue, I think that this is a strong release. The unhelmeted head sculpt looks beautiful. You get some of the accessories that none of those other companies ever gave you. It's MAFEX, so you know that you'll get a lot of accessories, you know that you'll get a nice posability and a lot of displaying options, and so that is what you get with this release as well. And now I would love to hear you guys. What do you think about this new MAFEX Boba Fett? Is it something that you want for your collection? Do you have it, or do you plan on getting it? And if not, are you satisfied with what you have in the Black Series line? Let me know all of that down in the comments. Special thank you goes out to my supporters on Patreon, and to all the rest of you guys, thank you so much for watching my videos. Thank you for being here with me. Stay tuned for a posing video for this guy, and I'll see ya in the next video.